Our summer ceasefire in the 30-year war between Ford and Holden is about to come to an end. The big guns are ready to fire in the opening round of the 1996 Shell Australian Touring Car Championship at Sydney's Eastern Creek Raceway. The nation's premier 10-top series moves into full battle mode with new cars, new faces and an exciting new race format. Boosting Ford's frontline troops is 1980 World Formula One champion Alan Jones, who launched his new Queensland-based Falcon team last Tuesday. In response, to his 1000 winner, Larry Perkins has boosted Holden's strength, expanding to a two-car Castrol team with Bathurst co-driver Russell Engel. This year's ban on tobacco advertising also threatened to close down two of the country's top teams. But former champions Glenn Seaton and Mark Scaife have both returned for active duty, with leaner but no less meaner operations in 1996. Tonight's championship opener also sees some exciting new faces in the V8 ranks. Craig Lowndes, Paul Romano, Stephen Ellery and second-generation star Stephen Richards are just some of the new names keen to rattle touring cars' old guard in 1996. Tonight, for the first time in Shell Series history, the fire-breathing V8s do battle under lights on a specially shortened Eastern Creek layout designed for maximum action. The new L-shaped track cuts the total circuit length from 3.9 to just 2.8 kilometres. Also new for 96 is a reduction in practice time, a switch to 3 20-minute races and just 2 sets of tyres allowed for each car. The teams and drivers which can best adapt to these dramatic changes will tonight reap the reward. It's time. Can reigning champion John Bowe defend Ford's hard-won crown, or can Holden level the score in the V8 war? The battle lies ahead.
Hello and welcome to the Shell Series Touring Car Blast-Off for 96. It has been a blazing hot day here in Sydney's West and the V8 Brigade promise performance to match. In fact, the 95 touring car champion John Bowe, now carrying #1 saddlecloth for the Dick Johnson Shell FAI Falcon team, has topped the qualifying with a lap time of 61.32, ahead of Holden's Peter Brock and Glenn Seaton for Ford credit. In fact, Falcon and Commodore alternate through the top 10 positions on the grid. Well, the heat is going to play a factor here, there is no doubt about that. And with the new regulations, the new race format and the new tyre regulations in place, it's going to leave the teams with a lot of hard decisions to make. Let's find out what they're going to do as we join Mark Osler and Brad Jones.
Yes, indeed, Gary Wilkinson. There are a number of new changes to the 96 Championship, and coming aboard this year to try and help us explain it is an old pal of ours and an all-rounder in the touring cars, Brad Jones. Welcome aboard.
Thanks very much, Mark. Great to be here.
Now, what can we make of these new regulations? 8 tyres only per car, 3 20-minute races. What are the teams got to try and do?
Well, now we only have 2 choices of tyres for the 3 heats, so it's imperative to get it right. The last race is going to be critical, and that's where all the action will be.
There you go, expert comment from Brad Jones. And Bradley joined us earlier in the day for the Privateers Cup, which is held for the privateer teams. And indeed, it was a great start by Steve Reed. He got away very quickly, but Kevin Heffernan also made a great start, but managed to lose it on turn 2. It was also a good start by Richards and Finnegan, who had a terrific battle for 3rd and 4th position throughout the race. Richards, meanwhile, opened up a bit of a gap as he tried to track down Reed. But as we came toward the finish of the race, Richards got very close, but he just couldn't quite close the gap to Reed. So it was Reed who won the race ahead of Richards, and then a gap back to Crick and Terry Finnegan in 3rd and 4th position. Great race there from the Privateers. Well, there's a lot of established stars and a lot of new faces here in 1996. Here's Andy Raymond with one of the new guys.
Yeah, names like Brock, Johnson and Perkins have been around the game quite a while and are still at the top of their game. Many of them are getting a scare from the young guns, one of whom joining me now, Craig Lowndes, 4th fastest qualifier. Nice way to debut.
Thanks, Andy. Yeah, it's a good way to start the season. Like, this is only 3 races of 30, so hopefully we can get through this weekend with the car that's still intact, and we can go on from there.
And qualifying and a bit of practice this morning, you were 2nd fastest. Do you enjoy the hot weather?
It's not too bad. It's the same for everybody. You know, I've done a bit of training over pre-season, so hopefully that'll come in my favour. But you know, the race is going to be tonight. We had a run last night, and the cars run a little bit nice with the nights, a little bit crisp air. So no, we're looking for a good night.
We wish you all the best. Craig Lowndes, starting from position number 4. Let's have a look at the full grid.
Let's see how they line up in round 1, race 1 of the 1996 Shell Australian Touring Car Championship. There he is, the hot lap specialist, John Bowe on pole, 101.33, with Peter Brock alongside him, a Ford Holden front row. Row 2, Glenn Seaton, the new Ford Credit Falcon,
with Craig Lowndes, car 15, alongside him.
Row number 3 consists of Tony Longhurst and Wayne Gardner in the Coca-Cola Commodore. Row 4, Alan Jones and Neil Crompton.
Out of row 5 is Dick Johnson in the Shell Falcon with Mark Scaife alongside him in the Gibson Motorsport Commodore. Row 6, Russell Ingall in the Castrol Commodore with teammate Larry Perkins alongside him.
Row number 7, newcomer Stephen Richards in the Valvoline entry, and the top privateer, car number 3, Steve Reed. Row 8 is Stephen Ellery and Paul Romano.
Row 9 is the Sony Commodore of Terry Finnegan with Greg Crick in the Alcare example alongside him. David Parsons in the Freightliner Holden and Mark Larkham in the Mitre 10 Ford.
Row number 11, the Price-Attack Commodore of Kevin Heffernan with Wayne Russell. Row 12, Bob Pearson and John Cotter.
Plenty of V8s here. Row 13, the back row, John Trimble in the Ostjet Aircraft Charter Falcon with Gary Wilmington in the Wilmington Performance Ford. Well, the heat is on at Eastern Creek Raceway, and it's about to get an awful lot hotter when they unleash the V8s in just a few moments' time. Meanwhile, here's the Eastern Creek logo flying in on a giant flag up in the skies on this beautiful hot day in Sydney. Touchdown almost due for the flag, and we're almost due for blast-off in Heat 1. 5 seconds now till the start of Heat 1. It's going to be a critical run into turn 1 here at Eastern Creek this afternoon. Revs rise. John Bowe and Peter Brock on the front row of the grid. Away they go. Brock gets a sensational start. The grandstand are on their feet. Brock gets a real run down the outside. A huge pack of V8 swinging into turn 1, and it's Brock in control as they head down toward turn 2, leaning on each other. Massive number of V8s here up toward turn 2, dust flying everywhere. It's Brock in command with the Coca-Cola Commodore in second. Bowe got shoved back to third there. Craig Lowndes is Brocky's teammate, 5th or 6th as they shuffle through turn 2 and head up toward the flashback.
One of the Castrol Commodores, in fact, it was Larry Perkins, the Tooheys 1000 winner, and we've got a moment further back in the pack. Peter Brock leads. A fantastic start to Wayne Gardner as the Finnegan Sony audio sound car makes its way back onto the track.
So Peter Brock, tremendous start from the outside. They often say pole position at Eastern Creek is on that outside where the racing rubber's laid down. Brock certainly took advantage of it in 05. But he's got the Coke Commodore. Wayne Gardner right up behind him. A great start from the former world motorcycle champion. John Bowe back in 3rd position. There's Crompton in 4th. Another great start from the Coke car with Lowndes right up behind him. Very close, very torrid action here, Bradley Jones.
It is. There's plenty happening. I was talking to Brock earlier on today. He's very determined to win the race. He's going all out. But he's got Gardner right on him. This will turn into be a tyre war of sorts, and the Dunlop's a performer very early on. It'll be interesting to see how the race goes on.
Well, certainly will, knowing the performance of the Bridgestones over the years. Of course, Brock running Bridgestone tyres, they take a while to come in, but boy, aren't they durable, particularly in hot weather conditions.
They are. 3 laps you usually have to do before you can get the speed out of them, where the Dunlop is there right from the start. It's interesting, even though these cars look the same, underneath they're just so different you couldn't believe.
So they come through the switchback there, wheel up in the air as Brock crests the rise. The car gets all light, bounces off the curb there, building up to about 190 kilometres an hour as they swing into turn 5, or the new turn 5 on this shortened circuit. Gardner in 2nd position, really pasting the back bumper of the mobile car. He's right on top of him. It'll be interesting to see if he can last for this first 20-lap heat.
Peter Brock won't want to leave it too long before the Bridgestone set in, because Gardner from position number 6 is up to 2 and is looking for a way past as they head down the main straightaway. Once again, the crowd going berserk. The favourite is out in front. Glenn Seaton has dropped well back in the field to about 7th after starting in 3rd, so a disappointing start for a new sponsor in the Seaton team.
Well, he's Mr. Popularity, Peter Brock. Most successful driver in Australian Touring Car Championship history, 35 victories from 189 starts. 50 years of age, and the man is still right on the pace.
Car number 1, John Bowe, has come from nowhere. He missed the start from pole position. Gardner got past, and all of a sudden, the number 1 Shell FAI Ford Falcon is back in the race.
We take race cam with Peter Brock aboard Mobile 05. Man hard at work, maximum concentration here, working at the wheel. Looks like a very physical sort of track, Brad Jones.
It certainly is, and you can notice just behind him there's a little esky. I'm not sure whether that's for a cool suit. I say it would. They fill it up full of ice water and actually runs through tubes. It just cools your body down. Larry Perkins was saying earlier it's like 55 degrees inside these cars today, so you certainly need something to keep you cool.
Okay, 3 laps down in this 20-lap battle. It's still Brock in control. Gardner in 2nd, Bowe starting to close the gap to the Coca-Cola Commodore in 3rd position. And then we've got Craig Lowndes, the sensational qualifying at Bathurst last year. He's had a very controlled build-up to this race, and here he is in 4th position, looking good.
A three-way dance at the moment, but Lowndes is looking to party. He's moved right up on the back end of the FAI Falcon, down towards what is being termed the flip-flop, and Gardner a little off course there, and Bow right up on the backside. He knows every scratch on the back of the Coke Commodore.
Keeping in mind these really high temperatures, Bradley, is the idea here to try and conserve your tyres, or in 20 minutes you just haven't got time to do that?
Well, you really haven't got time. These guys will be, you know, throwing caution to the wind. The idea at the start of the race is to try and save the tyres a little bit and drive the car as straight as you can. And of course, once the light turns green, you're just, you know, fighting for survival. So they're all pressing on as hard as they can, and they won't think about their tyres until they get it to the end of the race.
Big roar from the crowd. Brock opens it up a couple more tenths. They come across the start-finish line. 4 laps down. He's just put in a 1:02.25. Fair way off the qualifying pace yesterday, but very quick considering these hot conditions. There's Glenn Seaton coming right into the action, right up behind Crompton. This is the battle for 5th and 6th.
A good battle it is at that, and Seaton again searching on the inside for some racing room. We're looking out of the Glenn Seaton car. That is Neil Crompton right ahead. 7 Sport Race Cam bringing in the action as they head down towards the flip-flop. There's the leading group up ahead. Very sharp left and right. That's where it just drops away, Brad Jones.
It does. It's a very tricky part of the circuit there. I'm just watching the back of Crompton's car. It looks to be working quite nicely. I mean, I thought the Coke team probably went for a bit of a safe option on tyres today, and that's why they qualified a little further back, but they're certainly up amongst it at the moment.
And we guess with only 8 tyres to chop and change between 3 heats, these guys may be looking much stronger as the day progresses.
Well, hopefully they will.
Here comes John Bow, meanwhile, sorry Bradley, but Bow down the inside of Wayne Gardner. They're side by side, 260k into turn 1, and Bow sneaks through.
Gardner will be looking to come back down the inside here.
So Gardner gets shuffled back. Very tidy move by Bow. Oh, Bow has quite an unusual line in there. He goes straight across the apex of the corner and almost turns on the spot.
He does, and you also notice that the Falcon of Bow's is smoking quite badly, and I'm not quite sure what that is. I mean, they're so precise with the amount of fuel these cars use nowadays that you wouldn't think that it'd have an overrun of fuel. Maybe there's something else.
5 laps down, quarter distance gone. They'll complete 6 as they come around this time. Look at Craig Lowndes, 21-year-old sensation, getting his big chance with the Holden Racing team this year. A lot of pressure on his shoulders.
There certainly is, and if you're involved in a battle with Wayne Gardner, you know you're going to have a fight on your hand.
Well, Craig, he's one of the young lions. He's been tagged a 1-lap specialist, people say. So he's got a lot of pressure to prove he's got the racecraft as well. Look how close he is behind Wayne Gardner's car. Pulls out of the draft, has a look down the inside, coming up to turn 1. Oh, you could have sliced a bit of cheese between those two.
Certainly playing for keeps, aren't they?
So Lowndes, a great move on Gardner there. Gardner shuffled back 2 positions in the space of 2 laps. So now it's a Bridgestone shot car at the front. Dunlop car and another Bridgestone sandwich. We take Seaton's race cam, that battle we were looking at before for 5th and 6th. He's actually passed Neil Crompton while all the action was going on. So now it's Brock, Bow, Gardner in 3rd. Sorry, Gardner in 4th, Crompton in 6th, and Seaton moves up to 5th, so that's the top 5.
You saw Craig Lowndes there, the front 2 wheels airborne. This youngster certainly on a mission as he hones in on the rear end of one John Bow, the defending series champion. There's Lowndes, you can see right ahead of him, John Bow, and off a little bit in the distance is Peter Brock. How dearly HRT would love a 1-2 to start 1996 with.
Well, you can see this striking new paint job, Andy, over the off-season. They've got a new driver. They decided to freshen up the paint job as well. Quite a striking bit of paint work there with the Holden Lion now on the front fender. But Brock showing a clean pair of heels too. He's opened it up 2.1 seconds now. The gap over John Bow in 2nd position, Lowndes in 3rd, Gardner in 4th, Seaton now up to 5th, and Crompton in 6th. And I guess we can expect Glenn Seaton to start making a few inroads too, Brad.
I think you can. You'll find that the 3 Bridgestone cars are probably all on exactly the same tyre compound. The case construction on the front of the Ford is slightly different, and obviously that's what you need at the moment. You watch Craig's car as opposed to John Bow's car at the moment, and the Dunlop chute car is just moving around.